guys about the elements and principles of art and design. So do you guys, have y'all heard about the elements and principles of art making? Show of hands, anybody? Maybe a little bit? Do you think you have used, so right now you guys have some pieces of paper on your desk, and if y'all want to look at it, the elements of designs, or the element of art, principles of design is referred to either way. So these are the tools to make art, as well as how to use the tools to make art. So these are important to be familiar with because it's basically, you may not realize that you're utilizing these aspects, but you are. And it's important as artists to be able to talk about that. And just in general, just talking about visual references and images, it's not just in paintings that you'll be using these skills, but like in the real world, like whenever you look at advertising, like you'll start to notice things and you'll start to see why people are using these elements in a way that they are. So this is how they do that, is by using these elements and principles of design. So there's lots of details on the sheets that I have in front of you. So we've got line, which are the elements, or it's one of the elements. Line, shape, color, value, form, texture, and space. Ring a bell to anybody? Yeah. So can anybody name a painting or a drawing that has had emphasis on the use of line? Nobody? What about color or shape?
That Pac-Man over there, that goes back then.
That Pac-Man? Yeah. So how would you talk about the shapes that you've used on that Pac-Man?
A bunch of squares.
Bunch of squares, yeah, it's very geometrically shaped. And then you've got the blue, which is a nice contrast against that forward and the back. So yeah, so those are some of the elements of art. And contrast is one of the terms for the principles of design. So there's balance, contrast, emphasis, movement, pattern, rhythm, and unity. These are all aspects that are found in art and paintings and all of art, in 3D, 2D, you name it, it's there. So why do they matter? They help the artist to create artwork by being able to verbalize their visual ideas so others will understand what that artist's intent is. So whenever you're talking to Miss Suit, if you're able to be like, hey, this line is looking really wonky, I don't know what to do about it, that's going to help her to understand where she needs to come in and help you. And it's also going to help you be able to communicate with others what your intentions are art making. So, let's see. So, and the way he has done that is by utilizing lines. So you've got the line at the top that was created by the texture. And then we have the shape of the woman. You can see how he's done these different paint applications to block out the shapes of her body. So that is a way that he has utilized shape. We also notice the form that the woman color kind of battles. Like we've got this orangey color going on in here, but then he comes with these blues in here to complement that, which really makes the figure pop and stand out. So space, we see how the woman is taking up all of the space, and that brings a lot of emphasis. It makes her very important, and it makes the viewer think like, why is this woman doing this? Because she's using all of the space pretty much. The values are the different, the darkness and lightness of colors. So you can see how he's used lightness in her leg and the darkness of the shadow, as well as the shadow down here as well. There's lots of shading. So, do you guys know what the word contrast means? Yeah? Can anybody point out where the artist is using maybe color to create contrast? The hair? Yeah. How so?
It's black.
Mm-hmm. So what is that in contrast with? So, and then there's also emphasis, which, do you guys understand what emphasis means? What would you think that this painting is emphasizing on? I'd say it's the woman. I'd say that this painting, the emphasis, what this painting is about is that woman. So all of these definitions are given on a sheet of paper that you guys have on your tables. So principles of design, we've got proportion, harmony, and rhythm left to discuss. So the proportion or scale, can anybody talk to me about the scale that's being utilized in this painting? What is the scale of the woman? Is she tiny? Is she big?
Yes.
Yeah. So the scale of the object is quite large. And the artist has done so because that's what he wanted to focus on. He wanted to make her big. He wanted to make her the center of your attention. So those are ways that we can talk about, or we can utilize the elements and principles of design when talking about an artwork, which is going to do what you guys are doing. So I've created this game that we're going to do, and you're divided into 3 groups. We're going to have you guys be the historians, you guys are going to be the critics,
Oh,
and
man, I want to be a historian.
you're going to be the professors over here, and these are your teams. And so you guys are going to be competing against each other, utilizing the elements and principles of design properly. So, and out of those 3 groups, you're going to have 3 specialty roles. There's going to be the speaker. As many people as possible are going to rotate being the speaker. The speaker is going to come up here and present whatever painting is being talked about. So what I just did is what the speaker is going to go do. So, and the thing is, you're also going to want to use it in complete sentences. You're not just going to be like, here's a line, or here's some color. You're going to be like, the artist uses the color in this fashion. Like a real person would talk if you were talking to somebody about painting. So that's what the speaker is going to do. The note taker is going to be taking notes of what you guys as a group are talking about. So whenever I show you guys a painting, you as a group are going to, let's see, where's your checklist? So this checklist that I've given you guys has all of the elements and principles listed here. So you guys are going to go through, look at the painting, and think about which one of these elements and principles really stand out about that painting. Which one can you strongly talk about? Which one is familiar and makes sense to you? And you're going to take notes about that. You're going to discuss it as a group. The note taker is going to write down what you guys are thinking and all decide as a group is the best thing to talk about. And the speaker is going to take those notes up to the front and present it and talk about it. So once you're up here as a speaker, you have to speak from your notes. You can't make stuff up as you come up here because this is a group effort here. So, and then the final specialty role is going to be the scorekeeper. Scorekeeper will keep track of what elements and principles the current speaker is addressing. So, and then you're going to do so on here. You're going to put your name, and you're going to put the team that you belong to. And then over here, let's see. For round 1, you're going to go through and you're going to check whenever your team talks about line, shape, form, color, texture. So you're going to go through and you're going to check those points that person has done. Does that make sense? Yeah? So whenever your speaker's up here talking, and I'm talking like, hey, this artist has utilized line in this painting, then you're gonna give a checkpoint for the line for your group. So each group is keeping track of their speakers' points that are the things that they are saying. So, and then at the end, where you're going to give me that number, and I'm going to tally it up on this backboard, and that is going to determine who wins. So does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, so now you've got 1 minute to decide who's going to be your note taker, who's going to be your first speaker. Speakers rotating, nobody gets to speak more than once, so keep that in mind. But you get to decide who's going to be your note taker, who's going to be your speaker, and then who's going to be, what was the other one? The scorekeeper. As long as it gets done, and so long as your name is on that paper so you can get credit. All right, so you got your roles picked out. So what we're going to do, we're going to be looking at a painting. I have you guys' attention? Perfect. So you've got 3 minutes to discuss an artwork that I'm going to have displayed up here. So you guys are going to all talk together. Note takers are talking, speakers are talking, everyone's talking. This is a group effort to decide the elements and principles of what is being displayed. So 3 minutes. And then after that 3 minutes is up, we're going to start with speakers coming up, having 45 seconds. That's not a lot of time. Pressure is on. You're going to have 45 seconds to come up here and present your team's notes. During that time, the scorekeeper is taking points for every element and principle that their team is talking about. Do you guys understand? Yeah? Perfect. Well, then we'll begin.
That's a lot of people.
All right.
That's not it. That's just a link.
All right, so what do we want Kate to go there and say?
Start out with, let's do another Wayne T-Bone.
We have to have all of these. Oh, it's a cake.
Absolutely stunning. Gorgeous. It illustrates a beautiful picture.
Okay, listen. We can talk about the shape.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright. It's got a lot of it.
Basically the same shape. They're all positioned almost the same. The colors
The colors in both the foreground and the background, there's plenty of vivid green with little highlights of flowers. There is texture all over the place with like the leaves looking realistic and most importantly the realism of his clothes and his face and his hands. There's overall good realism proportions. The leaves look two sides like compared to him. He doesn't look massive against it, like tiny leaves and then giant man. There is contrast from the background and the foreground. He is mostly kind of earthy tones, while this is more of wild nature, colorfulness. The painting takes up the entire canvas. There is very little space left within it. The background.
Time.
Okay.
Very nice. Good job. How many points we got?
I got 5 also.
5 points.
Look at you guys.
Very well done. Everyone has a new speaker, correct? All right, you gotta have a new speaker this round. And you have 2, actually, what is this? Actually, this is gonna be our fire round. This is our last round. So now instead of 2 minutes, you have 1 to discuss. And did you guys hear me over there? 1 minute to discuss, yes. And then instead of 45 seconds, you have 20.
Oh, I don't like
So, you gotta think quick, you gotta get the words out in sentences, and 1 minute and go.
The line work. Okay. The line work is very. There's a lot of curves in it. Yes. Okay. There is a lot of diamond. It appears to be the dimensions are very flat.
Going to be done. Time is 26.
There is a lot of contrast between all the colors.
So that will give You'll make it.
Emphasis
Yeah,
on
that'll give them time to fill out the evals and the thoughts.
There is a lot of movement going
10?
on. Like,
Yeah,
Good.
10 seconds, you guys, 10 seconds.
I wasn't sure if you saw it. I was like, oh. Time's up.
All right. Let's see, who went first last time? Curtis?